Salvete omnes, and welcome to Caesar's Gallic Wars, Book 5, Section 27, Part 1. When last we left the Romans, the Eburones had caused a revolt, and they wanted to have a parley. And so now we are actually having the parley with Ambiorix, and Ambiorix is going to start his speech. So let us begin. Mitatur ad eos colloquendi causa Gaius Arpaneus eques Romanus familiaris quinti tuturi et quintus Junius ex Hispania quidam ante misu Caesaris ad Ambiorigem ventitare consuerat. So Gaius Arpaneus over here, he is our first guy. He is one of the people who is sent. So Gaius Arpaneus is sent to them for the sake of speaking. And Gaius Arpaneus is an eques Romanus. He is a Roman equestrian, and he is a familiaris of Quintus Titurius. He's a friend of Quintus Titurius. Okay, and also sent is Quintus Junius, a certain Quintus Junius, right there, Quintus Junius, a quidam Quintus Junius ex Hispania from Spain. This Quintus Junius who had been accustomed to coming often, ventitare, to coming back and forth, to visiting back and forth, ad Ambiorigem, to Ambiorix, who already before, by the order of Caesar, misu Caesaris, had been accustomed to come back and forth to Ambiorix. Okay, apud quos Ambiorix ad huc modum locutus est. So with them, apud can mean a variety of things. In this case, it's going to mean, you could say with them, Ambiorix spoke locutus est. So here's our starting of the indirect statement. Remember, locor, loqui, locutusum means to speak. So to them, Ambiorix spoke ad hunc modum, you can translate as in this way. Okay, so what is it that Ambiorix says? And we are going to list a variety of things. Ambiorix lists a variety of things in his speech. And I want you to just kind of keep note of the things that Ambiorix is saying as his speech, as he addresses the Roman envoys. So he said that remember that in an indirect statement, you have an accusative first, an accusative, and then an infinitive. You can see an infinitive, two infinitives here. So that say it can mean he, himself, itself, themselves, herself, and it's just an emphatic form of say. So you could say. So he said that he acknowledged confiteri, that he owed debere, that he owed him plurimum, he acknowledged confiteri, that he owed him very much, plurimum, on behalf of the beneficiis. Pro is a preposition that means on behalf of or in return for. It takes an ablative. Beneficiis is in the ablative from beneficium. On behalf of the kindnesses of Caesar, Caesaris in the genitive, toward him. He said that he owed him very much because he had been freed, liberatus esset, through opera eos, through his works, meaning Caesar's works, that he, Ambiorix, had been freed from paying a tribute, stipendio. Here we have a little ablative of separation. When you free someone from something, that's an ablative of separation. So he had been freed from paying a tribute, from the stipendio, which he had been accustomed, consueset, to pay, pendere, to the Iduatuki, his neighbors, which we had been accustomed to pay to the Iduatuki, his neighbors. Okay? And, quodque, because both his filius and his filius fratris, so remember, et means both and because both his son, remember the filius is son, like a filio relationship, and the son of his brother, remissi essent, had been sent back ab Caesarea by Caesar, so had been sent, passive here, ab Caesarea, ablative of personal agent, because his son and his brother's son had been sent back by Caesar to him, whom, sorry, let me move myself there, whom the Aduatuki tenuisset had held in numero obsidium, in the number of the hostages, and they had held them in servituta et catenis, in servitude and chains. So his son and his brother's son had been sent back to him by Caesar, whom, having been held as hostages, the Iduatuki had held them in chains and in slavery. Okay, and that he had not done it fekisset. You got to go all the way down here to fekisset. He had not done it. Let's see if I can underline here. I don't know if I can. There you go, fekisset. And that he had not done quad feceret, what he had done, de oppugnatione castrorum, concerning the attack on the camp or the attack of the camp. That he had not done what he had done regarding the attack on the camp in accordance with his own judgment, aut judicio, aut voluntate sua, either because of his own judgments or in accordance with his own judgment, or of his own accord, sua voluntate, like voluntarily. He did not do it voluntarily, or of his own accord, but by the coactu, the forcing or compulsion of his civitatis, of his tribe. So he had not done what he had done regarding the attack on the camp and according to his own judicio, judgment, or his own voluntate, or his own wishes, but by the coactu, the compulsion of his tribe. And that his sua imperia, that his rule was, we have another infinitive there, esse, we're going to translate that as was, that his rule was of eius modi, of this type, that the crowd, multitudo, so we're going to translate that there, multitudo, it looks like an ablative or something, but it's actually a nominative, that the crowd had no more power, haberet, that the crowd had no more power, so like not less, no more power of law, that the crowd had no more power over him, in se, than he himself, ipse, had in multitudinem, over the crowd. Poro, furthermore, he said that for his tribe, furthermore, he said, again, we were saying he said, Civitate for his tribe. Remember, the Civitatis is the state or the tribe, in this case, the tribes of Gaul, that for his tribe, that that this thing had been the causa, the cause of war. Okay, what was the thing that was the cause of war for his tribe? He said that for his tribe, moreover, that this had been the cause of war because it was non potueret, it was not able to resist the continuous, the repentini, like repetitive or continuous, the sudden for that one, had not been able to resist the sudden conspiracy of the Gallorum, that it was not able to resist this sudden conspiracy of the Gauls. And that was why Ambiorix and his men decided to make the attack, because he felt a little bit forced by the crowd and that they were not allowed to resist this repentini, this sudden conspiracy, coniuratione of the Gauls. Okay, so Ambiorix will be continuing for another 15 or so lines of his speech, and we'll pick that up in part 2. Voilete.